It's me and Valu. We are here to make another video, but this time we would like to talk about if a foreigner can be an expert in India and what is the reality about India and compare rich and poor aspects of India. So stay tuned. Okay, so as you can see, I'm a foreigner. My name is Mia, and this is our daughter Valerie. She's half Indian and half foreigner. We live here in Denmark, but before when I met Ritzy, so we stayed on and off in Delhi for 1.5 years before we moved here, and now we have lived here for a little more than a year. Before I met Ritzy, I've been working for the Indian International Airline since they started flying here to Copenhagen. And before that, I had been an exchange student in India also when I went to high school. So yeah, I have flown to India more times than I can count. So if you can say a foreigner can be expert in India, no, maybe not. But at least I have a lot of experience behind me, and now I also live with an Indian, and I have been there many times. So let's get into it. First of all, how is India really? Because if you search for how is India, how is traveling to India, this and that, you'll find a bunch of foreigners telling about incredible India, all these stuff. And at the same time, you will also find blogs which is saying how awful India have been. So it's like either one. Either people love India or they hate it. I'll say you can also learn to love it, because India have so many aspects and it's very different from where I come from, which is also why so many foreigners, they either hate it or fell in love with it right away. So India is so diverse and it's huge, which is why it's okay that people have different opinions about it. And that's also why you can look at like in which aspects of India rich and in which aspects are India poor, because there's many aspects and where you will find out that these are the reasons why people love India and this is the reason why they don't like it. But I was saying, no matter which experience you listen to, I think it's worth to go and try it out yourself and figure out if it's something for you. But you have to be prepared, it is very different. First of all, India is very rich in their landscapes. They have both mountains and lakes, they have jungle and forest, they have city life, they have financial districts, and they have beaches. Like you can find anything, it depends on where you go. They are very rich in people, colors, and it's just very, very diverse, and you can find almost anything you wish for. And you also have to think of like, what is the reason why you want to try to go to India, so you can think of which area you should go to, but also what's your goal? Like, do you want to experience some historical, cultural places? Do you go for adventure or party? What is the reason? And I think no matter where you go, India is very welcoming, and I'm sure that you will have you'll find a lot of opportunities there. So it's definitely a big reason why you should go and why I like India. Even when we travel within India, we find very different places every time we go, and it's like visiting different places. I usually compare India to all of Europe, because you find both mountainsides and jungle and also beaches. So, but at the same time you have to be prepared, because you will get, many people get like some kind of cultural shock, because it is very different. And yes, you'll experience scammers and what I call foreign prices. They will definitely try to like sell you stuff for higher prices and scam you. For example, also the taxi drivers, which is why you should definitely follow people's experiences regarding how to deal with Indian scammers and stuff, right, Valo? Like using Uber, for example, Uber instead of the taxis outside the airport, and also definitely try to bargain the price when you go to some market. And you will also experience a lot of dogs running around, and cows also some places. But one thing I very much have never got used to in India is the beggars running around. They can get very close to you, and I see that the Indians themselves, they just ignore them or tell them to go away. But it's just something you have to keep in mind, that many places they also have these beggars, both older people sitting around, but also especially these young, like very young kids also sometimes, who come and drag you. So just to be prepared for that. Something else you have to keep in mind regarding when you are going is definitely also the weather. The weather in India is very nice, but sometimes it can be insanely hot, and also in the winters it can be very cold. So you have to have a look out of like where are you staying, and like if you need AC or a heater or something like that. That's also something to keep in mind. Another area where I think India is a little sad is especially right? Valo, are you bully? Okay, Valo wanna say hi. Can you say hi? Okay, so the last things on my list is the traffic. The traffic in India can be insane, and you will get surprised over it no matter how many videos you watch about it, because they drive crazy. You get ahead very fast, but there's not so much about security there. There is both this driving without seatbelt, crossing red lights, going in both right and left lane to overtake, which is definitely not allowed here in Europe, right, Valo? And drink and drive is also a thing, and driving without seatbelt also. And yeah, that's a bad thing, no? Yeah, but you get ahead very fast, which is nice. And the last thing which is on my list, which I think is why many people they think if they should go to India or not, is that there's all this garbage everywhere and the pollution, which is two things I get pointed out every time people ask me about how is India. And it's not just India, it's also different other places in Asia where there can be problems with that. But I think it's getting better. Regarding garbage, there are definitely some areas which is cleaner than others, which you have to keep in mind. You would also find the high-end districts, there's nothing at all. And then you will maybe find some slum areas which people typically point out, and no, they're not nice. But most of India is looking fine. And regarding the pollution, it depends on when you're going there. Sometimes there's much more pollution than others, which is also something you should look up before you decide when to go. So that's all from us. We are going to India when she's around a year old, have we planned. So we hope that you guys will follow us on our trip there. We'll try and show you the different places in India. Yeah? What do you say? Can you say bye? See you in our next video. Kindly subscribe. Subscribe. Okay, it's time for a nap. Good night.